defense that you're doing right against Cal that you might not have been doing the previous 2 games when you're dealing with a lot of yards?
Tackle better, didn't give up any big plays. When you do that, things are pretty good. Usually things turn out well for you. That's the one thing. Played down and distance better, did all the little things better, because that's what it comes down to. If you take care of little things, big things will take care of themselves. Much more attentive to detail, had a purpose, and they played hard.
Nick Aliotti and some other guys in college football talk about tackling a lot nowadays, and it's not, kids don't tackle as well as they used to. Do you see that as a kind of a trend at all?
I think it may be a trend because of the way people are teaching tackling now. Everybody's a little obviously concerned about the concussions and different things. You don't get an opportunity to practice as much. I think the way your obviously your roster size has come down. People much more concerned about injuries and things of that nature. What you used to do in tackling, the way you used to do it is, especially spring practice now is different. When you used to really, in the older days, you had 20 practices, you had 105 guys. Back when I played, I think it was 125 guys. So, that's one of the things. You had more bodies and you could work on it a lot more. And then I think the other thing about tackling that's happened is you see more missed tackles now because the game's played so much in space. It's not packed into the box now where you obviously couldn't tell the missed tackles. But now there's so many more one-on-one tackles than ever in college football.
How encouraging was it to see the job Marcus and Johnny Johnson did kind of in man and press coverage?
Yeah, I thought they did a heck of a job there, and they're really happy for Johnny. He's overcome a couple of things with his shoulders, and then I always feel bad for Johnny because he has to sit by me in the meetings, so I pick on him all the time. I'm sure he's glad that he played well because it's going to be no fun to sit by me.
Seeing the job they did, does that, maybe give you a little bit more confidence going to that more and more?
Well, hopefully that gives them more confidence, because I think that, for me, playing in secondary, confidence has a shelf life. It always needs to be replenished. And, they're inches away from a highlight to a low light out there. And it's just such a short trip from the penthouse to the outhouse out there because of all the different things, how quick things are bang out there. So, it's a position that's, if you're going to play good defense, is going to be very key for us moving forward.
What does Aaron Wallace bring to the linebacker position that's different from some of the other guys?
I think one of the things about Wallace is the fact that he's been able to adapt to play different positions. It's very impressive. He plays a couple positions for us. He plays them well. Not an easy task. He stepped in for Dion last week. Ended up having 3 sacks at the will. Doesn't get a lot of work at that all the time. With the pass rushing, with his other assignments, because he's got to cover. He's got zone drops. There's a lot of different things going on. So he's a highly intelligent player that works at it, comes out every day, and gives us all he has. And hopefully, we don't push him to give him too much. And that's always the thing. Guys do well and they play a lot of different techniques, and then you think you could do another one, and so we're trying to make sure that we just ask him to do things that he can do.
You talked about last game being a confidence builder for the secondary. Can it be the same type of thing for the D-line, and how repeatable is some of the things that you did to get pressure on Goff?
Well, every week I think it's a little different package of what pressure package you're going to use, and we'll see how that goes. I think the one thing is like any time when you're playing up front, you've got to beat some people one-on-ones. You've got to hustle to the ball. There's a lot of different things you got to know, and it comes down to playing really, really smart up there and kind of calculating what you want to do up front versus different formations, what kind of pass protection you're expecting. It's a little more thinking that goes on in there sometimes than people realize.
How does Sefo Lufau's running style compare to some of the other quarterbacks that you've faced this season?
I'll tell you what, the one thing about him, I watch him, he's very good at what he does. They all seem to have a real knack for having a great feel where the hole is, where the lane is, when to take off. He's a big guy. He's a bigger guy than Goff. I think he's about 6'4", 235 or so. But it's impressive, and that's the one thing that's very. When you talk pass rush, we should just crank it up. But somebody has to make sure the lanes aren't necessarily just for cars. We've got to know where that quarterback is, know how to keep him on our shoulder, and as I said, know down the distance and. Because when he tucks it, he does a fine job of finding the sticks, getting to the first down. So there's a lot of variables to go into. If you watch him, he seems to me, he knows when to put it away real quickly when he doesn't have what he wants and gets going. You guys got a good?
Thanks, sir.